Here he goes. Pure concentration.
He's one strange guy, this Chris Eubank, he sure is.
And if you watching in Canada are thinking, what kind of a guy is this? I tell you, you ain't seen nothing yet. Dan Sherry looking very cool, very relaxed. Here's Alan Hughes, our MC.
Ladies and gentlemen, promoted by Matchroom and sponsored by the Daily Mirror, we are proud to present the main attraction of the evening, going worldwide on TV. A middleweight contest at 11 stone 6 pounds over 12 rounds, each of 3 minutes duration, for the WBO Middleweight Championship of the World. Your judges for the contest are Torben Hansen of Copenhagen, Frank Cairo of New Jersey, John Rupert of Miami, Florida, and your WBO supervisor is Mark Schechner of Florida. Your British Boxing Board of Control, still in charge, is Nipper Reed. Ladies and gentlemen, your referee for the contest is Frank Santori Jr. of Orlando, and your timekeeper, Jeff Williams of Sussex. Introducing and presenting to you the challenger in the red corner with the black shorts, with 17 wins from 17 contests, the former Commonwealth gold medalist and the current Canadian middleweight champion from Ontario, Dan Sherry.
You'll get a glimpse of them in a moment. Dan Sherry, maple leaf boxing trunks. Red maple leaves on a black background.
With 25 wins from 25 contests, defending the title, the WBO middleweight champion of the world, Chris Eubank.
And Eubank stalks into the ring, just nods at Sherry. The referee, Frank Santori from the United States. We've got 2 American judges and 1 from Europe.
Dan Sherry scale, 11 stone 6 pounds. Chris Eubank, 11 stone 6 pounds.
Both men bang on the 11 stone 6, 160 pound middleweight championship limit. We're scheduled for 12 rounds. Do you reckon it'll go 12, Barry?
Well, I don't like making predictions because I know nothing about Sherry, but obviously he's not fighting for a world title if he's not a world-class fighter, and you know, let's look forward to an exciting and entertaining fight.
And in contrast to the NEC, when all the fans were shouting for Nigel Benn tonight, Eubank's the star. I've got to say, although both men are exactly the same, Eubank looks a weight division heavier than Dan Sherry.
Yeah, Eubanks is very well muscled around the shoulders, and the lats and the back muscles are all very well defined, but Sherry's a big guy for a middleweight. He's just on 6 feet, and you know, he's well muscled himself. The problem is with
right hand from Eubank.
Nice right hand, just glanced off, didn't really stick, but it's a good shot.
And although Sherry's a couple of inches taller, Eubank outreaches him, 73, 70 inches. Oh, Sherry showing a refreshing willingness to take the fight to the champion in this opening round. But he goes down. That is a straight jab.
One of those solid left jabs that we talked about. The referee's having trouble putting him back to the corner. That's very unprofessional, Chris. He should get back there right away. Give the guy a little time to recover.
caught him off balance more than anything, but a knockdown is a knockdown, mandatory 8 count.
Good solid left jab, he walked straight onto it.
And Eubank, arrogant. And already a little swelling underneath Sherry's left eye. Well, he'll do well to recover from that. It's a terrible blow to your confidence. Eubank, in his eagerness, slips. Sherry hands it up.
Yeah, Sherry's trying to unruffle Eubanks and get him to come forward and throw punches. I know their game plan is probably to try and make Eubanks throw punches and make mistakes and to leave himself open to counter punches. Eubanks has been very cool, started off very well. Good start for him.
Eubank trying to draw Sherry into him. Sherry taunting him. Could be dangerous. Eubank finding a lot of trouble with the grip. That was another slip.
He seemed to having trouble with the loose canvas. His boots are not gripping the canvas the way they should be. Maybe he should have come out beforehand and tried out the canvas, because
he always does that, but he didn't tonight.
Yeah, he's definitely having trouble with his footing. Good start for Eubanks. What Sherry's got to do is he's got to make Eubanks got to draw him.
Eubank not even bothering to go back to his corner, just strolls over. He's got Ronnie Davis and Brendan Ingle in the corner. Got Jimmy Tibbs in the Sherry corner. That's Sherry's record. Oh, can't beat that. 17 fights, 17 wins, including the Canadian Middleweight Championship. In the red jacket there, the back of Jimmy Tibbs, one of the best in the business in this country. Eubank's record, well, he would be number 1, wouldn't he? Let's take a look at that knockdown again.
It's a solid jab. He walks forward, Sherry, straight on the button. Just knocks him over with that.
Corner, 10 seconds.
That was a little bit like the Errol McDonald knockdown we saw at the start of the programme. Walked onto a jab. Round 2, first round to the champion, Chris Eubank.
It already looks like Sherry is a class below Eubanks. Eubanks has gained a great deal in confidence since his title win, and he's using the right sort of tactics. He's not been drawn into a fight. He's just he's picking his punches, and he's throwing snappy 1-2s from a distance, which is the right thing to do without following forward and being hit with counter punches. Is good tactics, and it's working for him.
Now this is going to be a tough one for Frank Santori. Eubank so nearly nailed him then. Sherry still grinning at him.
Sherry hit him with a good body shot, and as I said beforehand, if I were training Sherry or telling him how to fight Eubanks, would be to concentrate on the body shots. Chris won't like that. It's a slight push off at the elbow there. Good old professional move. He's nailing Sherry with that right hand, and he's just done it again. That's going to be the finishing punch.
And the stare that Eubank directing towards Sherry, chilling in its intensity.
Another good body shot by Sherry. That's what he's doing. He's doing the right sort of thing. He's moving around and caught another right hand again. He's got to concentrate on Eubanks' body.
Well, as you'd expect from a man who's managed by Sugar Ray Leonard, 1 or 2 tricks up the Sherry sleeve, a little bit of showboating, a little bit of razzle-dazzle. I don't think Chris Eubank is the sort of guy to be fazed by that.
Bit of a cuff around the side there. Eubanks is not perturbed by that in the slightest.
Eubank not doing a lot of work this round, apart from avoid those shots, which earn a round of applause. Punches a little bit short, hasn't found the range yet. And I think he certainly is troubled a little bit by his footing.
He's picking his shots very well. Every single one of them are nailing Sherry, and he's not wasting a shot. Not throwing a lot at this stage, but not missing with many. Sherry's on his bike, up and moving.
We've had one knockdown, Dan Sherry.
Corner, 10 seconds.
Going down with just no more than a straight left jab in the first round, taking a mandatory count of 8. Third round then. David Brenner, Barry McGuigan with you ringside live at the Brighton Conference Centre. Your first impressions after a couple of rounds then, Barry, of the challenger?
He looks to me like he's not ready for a world title fight yet. He just looks too novice at this stage. Good fighter, not a bad fighter. Lots of moves, and he's moving well. But he's just a class below Eubanks. Eubanks looks much the superior fighter, and he's hurt Sherry a few times already. So I don't think the fight will go the distance. I think Eubanks will win on the short route. But he's so unpredictable, Eubanks. You never know what he's going to do. He should, in my opinion, be going forward and attacking Sherry and trying to get the fight over and done with. You know, you're not paid for extra time in this game, and he's much superior to Sherry. He should be trying to get the fight over and done with.
Well, Sherry was on the canvas against Darryl Flint in his successful fight to win the Canadian title last year. That was a wrestle. Frank Santori not impressed. Sherry upset about something, got something in his eye, a cut left eye, Sherry. Just a graze, but a graze nevertheless. Just a little nick, corner of the left eye. No more than a graze yet.
Eubanks will take his time. He'll only do it when he decides to do it himself. Those body shots are hurting him. They certainly are hurting. That right hand around the side hurting, and that's the sort of thing to do to beat Eubanks. But Eubanks will just take his time. He'll decide when it's time to go forward and finish the job. And it just looks, from what we've seen already, that he can do it whenever he wants.
But he's such a quirky, idiosyncratic fighter as Eubank. He took a few shots there and then suddenly launched himself back at Sherry. And Eubank, the confidence knowing that Sherry probably can't hurt him.
That's another good right hand. He's really hurt Sherry well. Sherry smiled, but that's a sign of hurt.
And Santori having to pull Sherry off. Well, we did tell you that he wasn't a great stickler for the rules, and we're seeing that now. He's a tough kid, this. They don't breed shrinking violets over in Canada. He's a tough boy.
Watch what Eubanks is doing when Sherry comes at him. He's letting him, he's hurt him now, but he's tucking up and letting Sherry beat him on the arms, and then he's coming back with short, sharp counter punches, and he's hurt Sherry with a similar attack. Very good tactics. He's just tucking up, letting Sherry beat on his arms, and then coming back with short left hooks and right uppercuts and right hands over the top.
Short with that left uppercut. Another good round for Eubank. He must be such an intimidating fighter to actually be in the ring with, Barry.
Well, you just never know what he's going to do. You never know when he's going to open up, or when he's going to stop punching, or when he's going to take a walkabout and actually walk around the ring and look at you. But you know, when you're in there, you know, you're trained to fight the guy and hit him, and if he doesn't hit you back, hit him again. And so it's very simple. Just hit the guy. If he keeps walking away, keep hitting him. This is where he's hurt him, and he smiled. Eubanks comes rushing at him with a long left hook. We might see an example of this short hook and punches when he's already blocked Sherry's attacks. Very good tactics from Eubanks. He's certainly improving. He's getting better. He's an improving fighter. And remember, he's only a young guy and he's champ.
10 seconds.
Yes, they're both the same age, these boys, believe it or not. In fact, Dan Sherry is the oldest of the two, or the older of the two, by about 6 weeks. Both only 24. Now, Frank Santori, unhappy about something. I don't know what.
It's water on in Sherry's corner. He's told the corner on 2 occasions to wipe it away.
Sherry's eye that was nicked in the last round, the left eye heavily greased now.
Eubanks also seems just a fraction faster. He's getting his punches off quicker than Sherry. And you see, he's prepared to take those punches because he knows Sherry's within punching range. He's just tucking up and coming back. Good tactics.
Well, when you can take Nigel Benn's best bombs on your chin and survive, that must tell you an awful lot about your capability to absorb a shot. The body shots that Ben threw hurt Chris Eubank, but some of the shots he took on the chin, they'd have felled anybody else in the middleweight division, I tell you that. We'll try the Ali shuffle. I haven't seen that for a wee while from Sherry. Sherry talking to the ref. Should save his breath.
Eubanks taking his time. He knows he can hurt this kid whenever he wants to, and he's going to have to start cutting the ring down instead of following him. You're taught as a professional fighter to cut the ring down. Step to the side that he's moving. Step across him, cut the ring down, and then nail him and pushes back to the ropes.
A good two-fisted attack from Sherry. Eubank took the best of those shots on his gloves.
Well blocked. He's not wasting his energy having to get out of the way because he's having trouble with his footing, Eubanks. And he's not trying to shuffle forward or shuffle back. He's actually staying there, catching the shots and then coming back. And it's worked for him so far.
And Eubank glares at Sherry. How dare you throw me into the ropes?
Nice jab.
Good jab.
I'm impressed with Eubanks' power and the way he's able to control the shots.
And not the grin from Sherry then, just a little almost imperceptible nod of acknowledgement at Eubanks' power. But you've got to give Sherry his due. He's taking this fight to Eubank. Oh, what a good shot.
That's what's called a nut jab. He turned his palms to the ceiling and jabbed up the way, lifted Sherry's head right up. He normally come back with a right hand after.
Eubank at the moment doing just about enough to take the rounds. He's not a fighter to exert himself needlessly. And don't forget, it's a 12 rounder. And Eubank won't mind going 12. Whether you can say the same for Sherry is a different matter.
Now he's starting to shuffle forward. That's what he's got to do. Cut the ring down, shuffle to the side. It's a long round. And the timekeeper must have passed out.
Well, they did have a timeout right at the beginning of the round.
Another good right hand by Eubanks has hurt Sherry again. Got to close this. There we have it.
Well, an extended round due to that timeout right at the start.
corner, 10 seconds. Seconds out.
We're starting round 5. Chris Eubank in white, defending his WBO World Middleweight Championship against the Canadian champion Dan Sherry in the black with the scarlet maple leafs. And I've got to say, even taking into account any national bias, I've got Eubank in front.
Yeah, Eubank is the champion. You've got to take it to the champion to beat him, and Sherry has been doing it up to now, but I still have Eubanks in front. He's controlling the fight at ease, and it just seems like he can switch up a gear whenever he wants. He's got to do that now to have an impressive finish, and I feel that he's going to do it very soon. Just stopped a beautiful right hand.
He can take a shot, can Eubank, and credit where it's due, so can Sherry so far.
Yeah,
down in the first with a straight left jab, just took him more off balance than anything else. But he's showing a refreshing willingness to mix it with the champ.
That's when he'll come a cropper, Dave. As soon as he starts trading with Eubanks, he'll be nailed. He's been doing the right thing up to now, keeping away, in and out, on his toes. But when he starts to trade with Eubanks is just a class better than him, and a more solid hitter.
And such fast hands, Eubank. Once again, Sherry smiles. When he smiles, you know he's hurt. And once again, bending the rules a little bit, going for the back of Eubank's head.
Eubanks is not good at actually shuffling forward. He needs the guy to be in punching range before he can nail him properly. If he means he has to come and throw a double left jab and shuffle forward and hit him with the right hand, he has problems, and he's got to work on that. He's still a young guy, he's still learning, and that's what he's got to work on. Again, Sherry's banging to the body, and those are the sort of punches that are going to hurt Eubanks.
Good left, followed by a good right. And Eubank forcing Sherry desperately to backpedal there. The greater volume of punches coming from the challenger, but the quality shots coming from the champ.
Nice left hook, it hurt Sherry again. He's got to finish this job. Just seems like he's in second gear. He can step up to fourth and fifth gear, no problem at all. That's what he's got to do. He's just taking his time and taking it easy.
Got him in the corner. Sherry forced to hold, and backs Eubank up.
Sherry's definitely hurt, and Eubanks is coming on strong now. Referee's got to get a hold of them and give them both a warning. It's time to stop them mauling and pulling.
Barry Hearn absorbed as he watches his protege Chris Eubank making this first defence of the WBO middleweight title he won so thrillingly at the NEC against Nigel Benn. Ronnie Davis telling him to concentrate. Listen to what I'm saying. Got a hard enough job fighting Sherry without Ronnie Davis beating you up in the corner between the rounds, Barry.
Yeah, well, I know Ronnie's frustrated because he knows he can take this guy out whenever he wants. Chris has never been one to rush. His attitude is, I'll just do enough to win, and I'll win whenever I please. But Ronnie's doing the right thing. He's got to get him motivated, got to get him going, because he could be cut, he could be hurt, he could walk on to a sucker punch. He's got to get this guy out of there as quickly as possible, and I think he's got to step the pace up.
I think Ronnie Davis hit him harder than Dan Sherry's done. Round 6.
Eubanks has hurt Sherry on several occasions and let him off the hook. He's got to start closing down the gaps and nailing him.
Remember, we've got 2 American judges ringside. They place great store on aggression, and it's Sherry who's been taking the fight to Eubank. Once again, Eubank comes back with a right hand, hurts the challenger.
Certainly does.
Gets him again. Sherry glances anxiously over towards Pepe Correa in his corner.
You see, it feels like a concerted effort by Eubanks at any stage in this round now could stop the fight. He could stop it and he could knock Sherry out because he's got him hurt now. He's already hurt him with a beautiful right uppercut. He's just got to step the pace up, cut the ring down and work Sherry over. Push him back to the ropes and nail him. Sherry, on the other hand, has got to keep out of the way, get on his toes again. I know he's been badly hurt, but he's got to get away from the guy, because it's when he's in punching range that Eubanks is most dangerous. Watch what Eubanks does. As soon as Sherry starts throwing punches, he just tucks the hands back up and then drops him down again when he's out of punching range to be relaxed.
Everything that worries me about Eubank, if this does go the distance, he's not doing enough work. He's relying on single shots. Don't think it will go the distance, Mark. Not if he throws more shots like that.
Every single shot he hits Sherry with, he hurts him, and he just is not sort of making a concentrated enough effort. All he's got to do is to stay on top of him and keep it up. Instead of hitting him with 1 and 2 punches, like you said, Dave, he's got to hit him with a combination of punches, 4, 5, 6 and 7, which he does in the gym every single day of the week. That's what he's got to do.
Sherry, once again, glancing over Eubank, shoulder at his corner.
I've always been concerned with Chris's footwork. He never seems to shuffle forward. He shuffles back very well, but not forward. And he's not really an offensive fighter. He's a counter puncher and a boxer. Doesn't like to come forward. Likes the guys to come at him.
That's unnecessary. As I was saying, Barry, it's the only doubt I've got in my mind, bearing in mind that American judges go a lot on aggression.
I agree with you about the aggression. Points are scored on aggression, but Sherry is moving away a lot, and he's only just coming in sporadic occasions. And every time he does come forward, Eubank seems to hurt him.
10 seconds.
Well, they're having a little mini summit in the blue corner.
Second down.
He's slowly wearing this guy down. Sherry looked very tired and exhausted when he went back to the corners. His trunks are saturated.
It's economy of effort from Eubank. Just enough.
We've seen a similar performance from Eubanks in the Kid Milo fight. I think Sherry's been warned again by the referee for shouting some nasties at Eubanks when he had his back turned on the ropes. You notice Sherry has stopped throwing body punches. He's working on the head now again because he's tired, and every time he drops down, Eubanks nails him.
And Eubank is getting through a lot more now. And I love the outrage with which Chris Eubank reacts whenever Sherry does land a decent shot. How dare you?
We should be expecting that because he's not knocked the guy out yet, and he had several opportunities, so he should be expected to be hit. He's got to step up a gear. He's just not doing enough work.
Well, like I've said, this is just the one little worry I have in my mind.
I think he's well ahead, Dave, but he's just not working enough to have an impressive finish and give the punters value for money.
Oh, that was a good shot, and that did hurt Sherry. He looked so tired when he hung on then.
Just fell a bit short. Another beautiful left jab as he came forward.
But Sherry still enough in control to glance over at his corner.
He's a tough kid.
So that round, the 6th, pretty much following the pattern of the others, and I'd love to be a fly on a judge's scorepad. Now let's hear from Gary Stretch, who's watching this.
Sherry, although he doesn't look a big puncher, is giving Chris a boxing lesson tonight. Very, very disappointing. Eubanks, who, you know, he states he's a master boxer, he's looking for one big single shot at the moment. It isn't happening, in my opinion, he's 7 rounds behind so far.
But Sherry is inexperienced. Do you think he's going to last the distance?
Hope. It doesn't look like he's in any way in trouble at the moment. Hopefully, Eubanks keeps giving an indication they might just catch him with the big shots. Other than that, Sherry looks in great condition. His mind's good, and he looks like he's going to stay the course to me at the moment.
So Gary Stretch as the challenger, 7 rounds in front, Barry.
That's I think I'm going to have to disagree with you, Gary. That's dreadful. I'm glad you're not a judge. He's in the fight, but I still have Eubanks ahead. He's the champion. Remember, he's the one that's coming forward, just like he's been doing all night. And Sherry's been on the bike, in and out, scoring with clusters of punches every now and again. But I agree that he's got to step up a gear, Eubanks. I've said that on several occasions. I hate repeating myself, but he can't afford to, to keep fighting like this. He's could get cut. Sherry might get lucky and nail him with a good shot.
I think the less than brotherly sentiments from Stretch could be due to the fact that he's possibly lined up as Eubanks' next opponent, provided Chris successfully comes through this title defence against Dan Sherry. And that fight was Stretch provisionally, and I stress provisionally, scheduled for London on April the 18th. But first of all, he's got to beat Sherry, which is, well, I think he's doing it, with all due respect to Gary Stretch.
I think Eubanks is winning the fight just about, but I think that Sherry obviously is still in the fight, and as I said, he might get lucky. Eubanks has got to work on his footwork. He's certainly not he's not doing enough shuffling forward and cutting the ring down. As I said before, this guy's a class below him. He could stop the fight at any stage, and he's not using enough footwork to cut this guy down, and therefore the guy's still in the fight. Look at the way he's walking after him. He's got to shuffle forward with his hands up, get within punching range and nail the guy.
Not a bad round this for Sherry.
Yeah, although there's only cuffing punches there, the punches, and they're scoring punches for the referee, it means that his arms are moving and his hands are moving. Eubanks has got to start nailing him.
And Sherry taunting Eubanks, sticking his tongue out at him, saying you ain't so hot. I wonder who Ray Leonard manages it out of these two. Well, Eubank not getting drawn into this. The ref should, maybe could, say cut it out. But Sherry's not intimidated. Maybe that's just the sort of stimulus Eubank needs.
The way Sherry feels is if he can do it, I can do it. And Eubanks has got to stop him doing it. He's got to get forward, close down the ring, and hit him with punches. He's got to work on his footwork in the gym. If he gets through this one, because he's not through it yet, in my opinion, he can hurt this guy at any stage. He's just got to make a concerted effort.
There's the bell. Well, a little needle won't do this fight any harm at all.
Yeah, it might stimulate Eubank because he's got to come forward. You know, I keep saying this. He's got to shuffle forward. In my opinion, that was Sherry's round. You have this sort of carry on from him now and shuffling his feet, and Eubanks can't be perturbed. He's got to come forward and throw sensible punches and throw plenty of them.
Well, what everybody thought would be a stroll for Eubank is turning into a fascinating contest. And the champ lands a beautiful right hand. No showboating this time from the challenger. Well, this is a different fight to the Ben fight, but no less enthralling and absorbing in its own way.
Very disappointing from Chris's point of view and from the fans' point of view. You know, we had such an exciting fight with Ben, but the tactics were different, and fighting's all about tactics. The tactics you use to beat your opponent. And I mean, Eubanks came forward, and Ben came forward, and we had an enthralling fight. We have Sherry using the right sort of tactics to beat Eubanks, and just keeping out of the way, hitting him with little silly punches, and then just getting on his back again, and doing enough to outscore him. You know, Eubanks, it's getting dangerously close on my scorecard, and the Eubanks has got to do something. Every time Sherry moves away, Eubanks just stays there, you know, stops. Look at this, look at Eubanks' foot movement. He's just standing in one position, maybe taking 6 inches of a step forward. It's not enough to stop this guy, and you know, he's hurt him on several occasions, and he hasn't stepped up close to him and hit him with more punches. And the guy's just nailing him with little slight counter punches and getting on his back and keeping out of the way.
Eubank always looks, and it has done for the last 3 or 4 rounds, as though he's on the brink of launching an attack that would end this fight. And yet, you've got to give Dan Sherry every credit in the world for the way that he's drawn the Eubank sting in this contest.
Yeah, he's using the right tactics to win the fight, and Chris is frustrated, and he's not. He should be frustrated with himself because his tactics are not right. He's got to step forward and close down the gaps, or else this guy's going to steal it. He's hurt him again, but let's see, will he keep it up now?
Got Sherry on the ropes right above us.
Oh, he got him.
And he's
badly hurt. Badly hurt.
And Sherry comes out of that bleeding heavily from the mouth.
Look at that shaky his feet. Run out of time again.
Oh, lucky man, Dan Sherry. Referee Frank Santori went over and checked the Sherry corner. He shipped a lot of stick then in the last few seconds of that round, Barry.
Yeah, he hurt him again, but just as before, he ran out of time, and he didn't do enough in the early part of the round to wear him down. Now he's got to take up the momentum. He's got to chase this guy and pour all over him.
There's blood
to stay on
pouring from Sherry's mouth now. He's got a very bad mouth injury. Jaw might have gone. He's in desperate trouble.
Eubanks has got to step up and everybody shout him, put the pressure on him. That's what he's got to do.
Ronnie Davis waving him forward. The Canadian, I beg his pardon, in trouble now. For the first time in this contest, he really looks a sorry sight. Now it's all about bravery.
Eubanks has got to start coming forward and throwing punches. He's got to come forward. He's got to hit the guy.
Well, Sherry, a portrait of courage. He's looking very spent. Desperately backpedaling away from Eubank.
He's hurt him again.
Here comes Eubank again. Santori checks with Sherry. Is he all right?
Eubanks has got to stay on him. Come on now, Chris.
He's almost out on his feet, the Canadian.
Yeah, this fight is not going to last much longer. Oh, hold on a second. Referee.
Sherry goes down like he's been bazookaed. Eubank was naughty. He will get a point deducted. He's calling a timeout. Sherry thought about it and he figured, I'll go down. That really is a bit of the old madam.
Yeah, I'm wondering, is he going to continue now?
Pepe Correa says he's been buttered.
Yeah. Oh, he doesn't want to fight on.
Sherry looks as though, oh, come on, man, get up.
There's no need for that.
Well, you get great things at the Oscar ceremonies with this, but really, Sherry ought to be ashamed of himself. Well, if the fight's over, the fight's over. If he can't carry on, then Eubank has won. Simple as that.
No, the fight's not going to continue. And
well, Sherry has now collapsed. This does not look good. I don't think this is put on. I think it's just exhaustion that's doing this to him.
Oh, he's hamming it up, Dave. There's no need. He wasn't like that at the beginning, and he's now putting on a show. But it'll be interesting to see what way the referee rules this. It was a little back-headed butt. Maybe we'll be able to see it in replay.
Yes, let's see if we can see that little back-header on slow motion.
It was nothing at all. And watch him for the next half a minute. He stood up and said he was okay. Then the referee warned Eubanks and went back to Sherry, and Sherry started hammering it up and falling and clowning all over the place. So
let's take another look at it. Here we go.
Looking at the back of Sherry's head, it's just nothing. It's just a little clip at the back of his head. It's nothing at all.
Oh, the Sherry corner getting aerated in the extreme. Sherry still prostrate on the canvas, and I think that now we're talking exhaustion, sheer exhaustion.
Yeah, Sherry was almost out on his feet at that stage, and yeah, it was a nice...
Now he's getting up, saying he wants to fight on.
Yeah, the referee, I've heard the referee, he's within arm's reach of me. He's going to give a technical decision to whoever was ahead at that stage.
And he's also saying deduct a couple of points off Eubank's scorecard. We could be due for something a little out of the ordinary and something unpleasantly out of the ordinary if this decision does not go Eubank's way.
Well, it's already out of the ordinary, Dave. I've never seen an ending like this before. But, you know, there's no surprises in boxing, and it'll be interesting to see what way the judges score this. In my opinion, Eubanks is just in front. But remember, he lost a point, or maybe even 2 points with this back-headed butt. That, in my opinion, was nothing consequential. And all of a sudden, we have the end of this world middleweight title fight.
Well, Sherry seems fine now, doesn't he?
So obviously the Sherry corner is going to take every advantage of this that he can.
I tell you, Barry, it could be tin hats time if the decision goes Sherry's way, and it could.
Yeah, well, we have a nice little table here, Dave, and I'll get underneath it.
I've just had confirmation from one of the judges that referee Frank Santori instructed judges to take 2 points off Eubank's scorecard.
Oh boy.
And to score it up until the end of the 9th round. And that is going to make it tight. Well, let's see what I do make it. It would be very tight. It could go either way, this.
Well, we always expect controversy with Chris Eubanks, and this is another controversial element to his fabulous boxing career so far. This could end up very messy indeed. I've got my tin hat, Dave. Have you?
Well, I still make Eubank a winner, but it's going to be tight. And I just hope that whatever decision is made, the crowd will accept it in good grace. This is the incident that led to the fight's premature ending again. And the crazy thing was that Sherry was within seconds of being stopped. Now, you can hurt somebody with a forward headbutt, but I do not accept that.
He hit him on the forehead with that. Now, I mean, we can't see it here, but in replay. But he stood up for the next 10 or 15 seconds, and maybe even as much as 30 seconds. And then when Eubanks was been put back to the neutral corner and given a warning, and the judges were been told to deduct 2 points, as we now know, then Sherry decided to ham it up completely, and we got an Oscar performance. But from him,
I have to say that Sherry put up a wonderful showing before that. But
it's not a way to win a title, Dave.
It's not a way to win a title, to try and con it out of your opponent. And I must confess, although he has fought a great fight, any respect that I had built up for him in that fight was largely dissipated as a result of that performance. He is now sitting quite calmly on his stool in his corner. Eubank must be one desperately worried man. Remember, this is how we saw Lloyd Honeyghan lose a title. Let's get the verdict.
The referee has deducted 2 points off Chris Eubank for... Ladies and gentlemen, please. The referee has deducted 2 points off of Chris Eubank for an intentional headbutt, but it is now going to the decision of the judges, and we're waiting for their cards. Thank you.
Well, remember, Lloyd Honeyghan against Jorge Vaca. That was how Honeyghan lost his title, Barry.
That's right. I'm sitting here with bated breath. We have 5,500 people in here who aren't very pleased at the moment, and are going to be even less pleased if this decision goes against
Barry
Chris
Hearn
Eubanks.
in the ring trying to calm things down. I think we've got the result.
Ladies and gentlemen, Judge Frank Cairo scores the contest 93-95 in favour of Sherry. Judge Torben scores the contest 93-95 in favour of Eubank.
That's what I made it. Split decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, Judge John Rupert scores the contest.
That's the American judge.
92 points to 95 in favour of Chris Eubank.
He's kept it. He's got it.
Thank God for that.
Oh my goodness. He kept his title.
There would have been a riot in here had he lost that game.
I have to say, I think you're right, Barry. He's kept his title, but in what circumstances?
Yes, an unhappy ending. Not a way to defend your title, or not a way to win it either. Even less a way to win it. But we're pleased to say that Chris has defended his title. Not a tremendous performance by him. A bit lackluster. Could have been better. And we hope that he go on to better things now.
Well, extraordinary goings on here at the Brighton Conference Centre. Scenes that I haven't witnessed in a ring. We've had controversy. We've had an extraordinary incident involving Dan Sherry going down as if poleaxed from a seemingly innocuous headbutt from Chris Eubank. Eubank is still the champion despite a 2-point penalty on all judges' scorecards.